Stalingrad, the frozen hell of World War II, a battle that changed everything. It was one of the bloodiest battles in human history, a battle that shifted the tides of World War II. Stalingrad, once a thriving industrial city, became a theater of unimaginable suffering. Over 2 million lives were lost in a clash that redefined the meaning of resilience and despair. But how did this city, frozen in horror, become a turning point in the defeat of Nazi Germany? The Luftwaffe bombers overhead, raining destruction on Stalingrad, as buildings collapse into chaos and terrified civilians flee through the streets. In July 1942, Adolf Hitler, driven by a lust for symbolic dominance, ordered Friedrich Paulus and the Sixth Army to capture Stalingrad. On August 23rd, the Luftwaffe launched a devastating bombing raid, leaving the city in smoldering ruins. In just one day, 40,000 civilians perished. Amid the ashes and despair, however, a fierce determination began to rise. The Soviet soldiers engaged in close-quarters combat, their faces lined with exhaustion, determination and grit. Bombed-out buildings become makeshift fortresses. Stalingrad became a battleground unlike any other. Every street, every building was fought over tooth and nail. Soviet soldiers, some armed only with knives or scavenged weapons, waged guerrilla warfare in the city's ruins. Not a step back. One building, Pavlov's house, stood as a defiant stronghold. A small band of Soviet soldiers defended it for months, turning it into a symbol of unbreakable resistance. German soldiers, despite their superiority in numbers and firepower, were bogged down in this nightmarish urban war. Frostbitten German soldiers huddled in trenches as snow falls relentlessly. Soviet artillery lights up the night sky. On November 19, 1942, the Soviet Union unleashed Operation Uranus. Reinforced by fresh troops and fueled by a burning desire for revenge, the Red Army encircled the German Sixth Army. Friedrich Paulus and his men found themselves cut off, surrounded by Soviet forces. "We're trapped," whispers a German soldier, his breath visible in the icy air. Despite Hitler's orders to hold Stalingrad at all costs, the German troops were ill-prepared for the harsh Soviet winter. Starving, freezing, and out of ammunition, their morale crumbled. Friedrich Paulus, weary and defeated, signing the surrender in a makeshift Soviet headquarters. Snow covers the lifeless ruins of Stalingrad. On January 31st, 1943, Paulus was captured. 2 days later, on February 2nd, the Battle of Stalingrad officially ended. It was a devastating blow to Nazi Germany. The Sixth Army, once feared and formidable, was annihilated. For the Soviet Union, it was a costly victory. Over 1 million soldiers and civilians perished. But it was a victory that turned the tide of the war and reignited hope for the Allied forces. Soviet forces marches triumphantly toward a well-earned victory. The Battle of Stalingrad was more than a military triumph. It shattered the myth of Nazi invincibility and marked the beginning of a relentless Soviet push toward Berlin. Stalingrad became a symbol of sacrifice, resilience, and the human spirit's ability to endure unimaginable suffering. The Battle of Stalingrad teaches us the staggering cost of war and the extraordinary power of human resilience. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, hope and determination can prevail. If this story resonated with you, share it to honor the sacrifices of the past. Like, share, subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories from history that shaped our world.